Hello everybody, it's Ron Milligan with RE/MAX Select here, coming to you from our offices here in Portland's Pearl District on this beautiful sunny afternoon, spring-like day out there. I was just driving down NATO Parkway after some showings, and the park blocks were absolutely packed with people because the cherry blossoms are in bloom. So it looks pretty awesome, and the weather is just amazing today. Loving it. But we have some business to take care of, which is what happened with our real estate market over the last week. So let's start with the inventory. So the number of active listings pretty much stayed the same. You can see here last week we had 1846. The week before we had 1840. So pretty much kind of like we're treading water, even though we slipped a slight number. Compared to last year, pretty much the same time, that number of listings was 1998. So we're down about 7.9% in the number of active listings. So our supply is shrunk from last year to this year by 7.9%. The reason for that is that we have still a lot of high buyer demand. And this is despite what's going on with interest rates. We're looking at interest rates, well over 4.5% right now. Of course, on the other hand, it could be that this is happening because of the higher interest rates. Folks are trying to lock in their deals before the Fed continues to raise rates the next 6 or 7 times that they meet. So that does sometimes cause a frenzy of activity. That being said, this frenzy of activity was going on before anything even happened with interest rates. So we'll see how that works out. But the number, what we do know is that the number of new transactions that went under contract was 929. And that's up from the previous week, which was a pretty good number, and that was up from the week before. And you can see from the graph here, it's a pretty strong, steady rise in the number of new pending transactions. That number is a strong number, and I think that it's probably been about 5 or 6 months since we've seen numbers that high. And that was just at the end of our summer buying season, just before we kind of went into our hiatus in November, December, January. So nice numbers there. That pushed our total number of pending transactions up to 5,055, up from 4,909. Last year at this time, I looked back, we had a lot more, 12.5% more deals under contract at 5,779. So we have fewer total number of deals under contract, but we're seeing more activity this year versus last year. And we can see that here in the total number of deals that were closed last month. That number was 689. That's up from 606. I went back to my notes for the sample that we're taking. Last year, that number was 588. So for about the 4th week now, we are outpacing last year with the number of transactions that we're closing this year. And I think that that's interesting and maybe a little bit significant, and might support some analysts that I've been listening to that are predicting that this year we're going to outpace our record level, like 15-year record level setting number of sales by as much as 6% this year. So we're going to outpace last year's 15-year record setting level of home transactions by 6% this year. We'll watch it. Right now it seems like it's true, but we'll keep an eye on it and keep you in the loop. So for the deals that did close, you can see here the average sale price. We're looking at $612,726 versus last year $553,785, and that's about a 10.6% rise in the average sale price. Keep in mind, like I keep saying week after week, this is a small sample, and these numbers tend to rise and fall. As the monthly numbers come out, we can compare the year over year. Like next month, we'll have 3 months worth of data to compare 21 to 22, and that'll give us kind of a more steady number to work with. For the properties that did sell, and for the median, we're looking at about a 17% rise in the median sale price last year versus this year, $560 versus $477.5. The average sale price, this is one that we kind of shocked us last week, and it continues to rise. 104.72. That's about 2.5 points higher than it was last year at this time. And then the big one was the median at 105.52. And again, I don't think we saw that number at all last year. So that's a really, really strong number. And that's, you know, on average and a median for everything that sold this last week. I suspect this next week it might even be a little bit higher, just based on the activity that we're seeing about a month, give or take a week or two ago. So check out the condo statistics if you're one of the someone who lives in the close-in condo market. That market, even that market, is looking up. So check out the video. The link is down below on the latest condo market statistics. And then, as I say every week, all real estate is local. If you're curious about what's going on in your neighborhood, your building, your municipality, your subdivision, just reach out to us, and we're more than happy to share what we know with you. All right, we'll talk to you next week.